Hello and welcome to the Patty Pod, Season 4, Episode 2, another Smorgasbord. Hey, I'm glad you're here. You know, I tell people that the Patty Pod's not for everyone. You have to have good taste. So if you're enjoying this, congratulations. I was thinking the other day, I was thinking about William Henry Harrison. Who doesn't? He was the 9th president of the United States. The guy who legend said died because he was too much of a bro to wear a coat at his inauguration. I wanted to get the full story, and so I went to his Wikipedia page where I read that, quote, Harrison had been physically exhausted by the constant stream of office seekers and a demanding social schedule. He also frequently ignored the cold, late winter weather, often going without appropriate clothing, likely weakening his immune system. After delivering a 2-hour inaugural address in the rain on March 4th without a hat or coat, Harrison continued to expose himself to the elements. 3 weeks later, on March 24th, 1841, Harrison took his daily morning walk to local markets, again without a coat or hat. Despite being caught in a sudden rainstorm, he did not change his wet clothes upon returning to the White House. On March 26th, Harrison became ill with cold-like symptoms and sent for his doctor, Thomas Miller, though he told the doctor he felt better after having taken medication for, quote, fatigue and mental anxiety, end quote. The next day, Saturday, the doctor was called again and arrived to find Harrison in bed with, quote, a severe chill, end quote, after taking another early morning walk. After taking another early morning walk, Miller applied mustard plaster to his stomach and gave him a mild laxative, and he felt better that afternoon. At 4 a.m., March 28th, Harrison developed severe pain in the side, and the doctor initiated bloodletting. The procedure was terminated when there was a drop in his pulse rates. Miller also applied heated cups to the president's skin to enhance blood flow. The doctor then gave him castor oil and medicines to induce vomiting and diagnose him with pneumonia in the right lung. A team of doctors was called in Monday, March 29th, and they confirmed right lower lobe pneumonia. Harrison was then administered laudanum, opium, and camphor, along with wine and brandy. Harrison died at 12:30 a.m. on April 4th, 1841, 9 days after becoming ill and exactly 1 month after taking the oath of office. I read that, and all I could think was, bruv, wear a coat. Now, it's true that some researchers think public sewage near the White House may have contaminated the water supply and caused Harrison to die of septic shock, but I think he should keep his place as a cautionary tale of cautionary tales to all of us outrageous bros out there. I know there's outrageous bros tuning in to the Patty Pod, so keep William Henry Harrison in mind, my friends. I think I need to tell this to some NFL coaches I see on the sidelines with nary a winter coat or winter hat in some chilly temps. I know you guys are manly. We all know you're manly. We all know it. Okay, let's move on to, I think I'm going to have a new corner. I'm thinking about one called On Notice, where I call people out, where I put people on notice. To start with, I'm putting these super fit gay men on notice. Super fit gay men. Now you know, you're on notice. I was recently at a coffee shop in the gay haven of Minneapolis, and these two buff gay men sat next to me. Now, it's bad enough that gay men are so stylish. We all know about the style. It's legendary. But the fitness part of this is driving me crazy. I ran into this on a Brooklyn poolside roof deck last summer as well. There was a gaggle of ripped gays with nary an ounce of body fat among them. And the gays that aren't buff are impossibly skinny. Thank God a lot of middle-aged ladies, my wife especially, Kate, Thank God they don't mind a dad bod, because that's what I'm, what should we say, rolling with, because I can't say I'm rocking it. The only way I could possibly pull off any of this gay man look would be to change up the gym tan laundry lifestyle of the Jersey Shore fellows, shortened to GTL by those guys, to GBL, Gym Boutique Laundry, where everything else would have to go. Who am I kidding? The cheese pizzas would never go away, and old dad bod would lumber back onto the scene. The problem is, I'm not even a dad. I've got no excuse. So fit gays, or should I just say gays, once again, you're on notice. All right. Keep your ears perked for who will be next to be put on notice. We'll see. Hey, I know a lot of you commute and listening to El Pod de Patty, a little something for our Spanish speakers there. And I wanted to especially share this language corner with you. That's you commuters. Back in the day, car racing folks used to describe the practice of bumping into other cars as trading paint or rubbing. They defended the practice with the line, "If you ain't rubbing, you ain't racing." Sometimes that's just shortened to "rubbin' is racing." I love these lines. I've always loved them. And I think, like so many other of the sayings I share, you, dear listener, can use this too. So if you've bumped into a neighboring car on the way to work, or even if you've bumped into a human on the bus or train on your commute, just look them in the eye, give them a wink, and tell them, "Racing is rubbing." More news you can use on the Patty Pod. This is not just for entertainment, folks. This is helpful stuff. Watched a Northern Exposure episode. I'm going to talk about Northern Exposure again. I haven't watched in a while, but you guys know I love it. Highly, highly recommend it. John Corbett's character is, I think that's the actor's name. I think it's somebody snuck into my brain and wrote the character that I want to be. Anyway, there was recently a storyline about a bear named Jesse and a character it had a long-running feud with named Holling. Holling's one of the main characters, also a great character, owns a bar. Holling made statements to seem like he was obeying some deep laws of the universe when it came to battling the bear. And even though I'm a vegetarian, I was taken by how important it was that Holling obeyed the laws, how important it was to Holling that he obeyed the laws. Thinking about having such an essential project was a refreshing change from my inner monologue's fixations, such as worrying about achievement and conflict and my focus on what I have and what I don't have. It felt like being taken outside of my head. I often look to get out of my head, and I wondered how I could find projects like Holling's. It's a little hard to engage like he did when I don't have a ferocious killing machine on my tail. But I think it's really good to just keep doing the things that bring me to somewhat of a flow state, even if they seem unimportant. I was reading about the U.S. Olympic hockey team selection. Olympics are coming up here in February. Big news in the hockey world. The pros are back in it for the first time since 2010. This will be only the third best-on-best hockey competition in that time. So big news for the hockey world. I was reading about the U.S. team, who they took this year. And I was looking into various arguments for and against the different players. I was spending a while doing this one morning, and I had these moments of objection from my mind, where my mind told me to get on with something more productive. But I was perhaps not in a flow state, maybe, but I was absorbed enough. I decided to let myself keep reading and be okay with it, especially since I was so absorbed by the experience. I think this is a good MO, even if what you're engaged in is video games or, heaven forbid, scrolling social media. If you're truly in some kind of a flow state, then I believe whatever you're doing has some nugget of value. Perhaps accepting this more will help us take the next positive step forward if we're all a little bit less hung up about how we're spending our time and what we're achieving. I caught this Will Smith character during the World Series this year. Not sure if you guys caught the World Series. I know it's been a little while since I've done the Patty Pod. I did do one in December, or in November. I am a bit remiss, my friends, that I didn't get one out in December. I'm going to try to get 2 in January, though, so hang tight. Okay, I'm trying to line up an interview. So we'll get the double album this January, hopefully. But in any case, back in the fall, back in October, I was watching the World Series. I guess that probably stretched into November. Anyway, I caught this Will Smith character. I tell you, I mean, all those games during the years and in the playoffs, he hits the World Series winning home run, did all that rapping, acted on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Men in Black. This guy can do it all. And now he's playing forward for the San Jose Sharks. What can't this fella do? Will Smith. Hats off to you, bud. You know, I've been married 12 years, and all I can say is find someone who looks at you the way that my wife looks at my cat. Just the other day, Kate had been speaking to me about something banal in a monotone. That lid goes over there when my cat, who she had just been with 30 seconds before, walked into the kitchen. She spun on her heel and exclaimed, "Hello, Gunther, what can I do for you?" Get you someone who looks at you the way that my wife looks at my cat. In the elevator pitch for this podcast, so many moons ago, I talked about this podcast as having a dash of spirituality. Well, here's one. I talked about how Jung thought that alcoholics actually had a genius for the spiritual in a previous episode. And in doing so, he connected the spirits we drink with the spirits we have. I like to extend that idea and imagine spiking my day-to-day life with spirituality. I was at the opera, La Boheme, saw La Boheme, went to the Metropolitan Opera for the first time. I was a bit more of an opera fan in my college days, but I do listen from time to time, and I finally got over the Met, saw La Boheme, my favorite opera, I think, one of them. A good beginner's opera. I hear it's not so long and has a number of just gorgeous melodies. Anyway, there's a passage that's so wondrously moving that the moment was, and that moment was spiked by my hunch that the strains that were captured came from the other side, the other realm, the divine realm, from heaven, if you will. As I thought that, everything became even more magical and infused with love. Speaking of spirituality, I came across a professional athlete's wonderfully unique affirmation that he recites to himself during his game. To wit, it goes, "Nobody cares, nothing matters, we're all going to die." Someone alert Oprah. I find, that's a goalie, that was a hockey goalie, by the way. I find that I love saying things like this from time to time. As a personal growth, kind of new agey, for lack of a better term, person, it feels pleasantly subversive. It also lets this earnest lad open the steam valve a bit, and that's a serious need for me. Nobody cares, nothing matters. We're all gonna die. Put that on your social media quote list. All right. I'm writing a novel. Yes, this is my latest project. I'm really enjoying it. I had, in fact, a great day today. I'm substitute teaching, I think, as I mentioned. Didn't get called in today. Got a chance to sleep a little bit more. Got up and did a few chores and some errands, and then I went to play hockey and was able to write on my phone for the first time. I tried it on my phone. It went pretty well on my way to hockey. So I got to play hockey and work on this novel, which has been great. My cat Gunther is now stretching, coming over. I don't know if you heard him lightly pad down off of the ottoman. Hi, Gunther. All right, take it easy, bud. Thought he might hit the computer. We're back, though. So I am writing a novel. It's going, I think it's going okay. I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm sure there's very beginner elements of it. If from a seasoned novelist or maybe a seasoned reader who's going to see those things. But I'm having a good time doing it at the moment. Surprise, surprise, it's about a podcaster trying to make his show a success. Now, I've told a few friends and family members that I'm doing this, and I'm starting to get to the sneaking suspicion that they're not as interested in it as I am. I know, I'm probably just being crazy again. I spoke a little bit about bling bling in a previous episode, especially about some of our athletic friends who adorn themselves for various contests, as though they were in a procession at a royal wedding. I suppose these athletes and royals around the world, I suppose I thought these athletes and the royals around the world were the blingiest, but I caught a photo of an Eastern Orthodox patriarch. That's a big deal priest in the Eastern Orthodox religion. And my man not only had a cable-like chain around his neck, but dangling at the center was not just a medallion or a locket, but a full-on portrait complete with frame. So hats off to you, Patriarch Bartholomew. The mirror, mirror on the wall says you are the blingiest of them all. I caught him he was in a photo op with the latest pope. This guy's an interesting fella. He gets around, this latest guy. Keep your eye on him. Okay, I was watching the Thanksgiving Day parade back in November. You guessed it, on Thanksgiving. And I've got to say, Macy's nailed it again. They had a variety of acts come out, and one fella dropped the line, "She caught me red-handed, creeping with the girl next door." And I just thought, what's more Thanksgiving than that right there? It just got to the heart of the matter. My man singing his heart's joy at the bevy of babes that get to bask in his no doubt bountiful love. I don't know how Macy's nails it year after year in capturing the Thanksgiving spirit, but tip of the hat to you, Macy's. Maybe that'll be a new corner. Tip of the hat. I had a friend who had a flamboyantly gay father when I was a boy. He had a black Cadillac with gold trim and smoked a brand of cigarettes called Players that has a similar color scheme on the pack. This is Tommy I'm talking about. I think I mentioned Tommy before. I remember he had a room in his house that looked like it could have been in Gianni Versace's mansion. Everything was black and cream and silver and gold. I mean, the whole house was like that, really. Well, in this one room, there were a few pillows on a couch that had embroidered sayings on them. Normally, pillows such as these, in my hometown at least, would say things like "Home Sweet Home." This one had something from some guru. Maybe it was Emerson or perhaps Eckhart Tolle. I don't remember who said it, but I remember clearly the words were, "You can't be too rich or too thin." I saw a poster in a classroom that I was substitute teaching in the other day with a photo of William Faulkner and a quote from him that said something along the lines of, "Aim higher than you think you can achieve." Now, I think all of you know by now that when William Faulkner says to jump, I respond, "How high?" But in any case, I decided to take his direction and continue working on a novel, as I mentioned before. It's semi-autobiographical, and which is helping, and hopefully it'll be good. I'll let you guys know about it. And then that will initiate the deluge of requests to receive it, no doubt. Celebrated my 46th birthday this fall. I figure that puts me on the back 9 of the golf course of life. I'm quite okay with it. I got a few happy birthday messages from friends, and I was happy to receive them. And as I consult the spreadsheet and peruse its decades of data, it seems that most of my friends have been doing a pretty good job over the years sending these messages. Hurt my knee a couple weeks ago playing hockey. It's like injury after injury the last few years. And I'm back in rehab, physical rehab. Not the other rehab, don't worry. They tried to make me go to rehab, but this time I would go. Yep, I will go. I really, I hate strength training, which is basically what most of this is, but I want to be able to play hockey at without any pain. It's amazing what a human can do when they're properly motivated. when I'm properly motivated. In any case, I was thinking about whoever invented physical rehab. They must have been a lunatic. My knee is in terrible pain. I will work harder on it than ever before. I will have no mercy for the little Niesenschaft. Knee is definitely Niesenschaft in German, by the way, I'm sure. Anyway, it must have been a lunatic who came up with these ideas. I found out at my last physical that I have high cholesterol. I was surprised because I exercise a fair amount and I don't eat meat or processed food or go out to eat too much. I mean, a little processed food. I go to eat a little bit, but not much. I remember talking to the doc, and she said, well, you must stop, eat less meat. And I said, I don't eat meat. And she said, eat fewer times out. And I said, I don't really go out. She said, okay, what was the other thing? Something else. And I, so I was like, do you have anything else for me? I was like, is it the eggs? She said, it's not the eggs. And I said, oh my God. Okay. So, spoke to my brother. He had a little bit of a high cholesterol issue too, and he's telling me the only thing that helped him is to lose weight. So now I'm trying to lose weight. Not easy at 46, especially when you're not a stranger to the Trader Joe's dessert section. But I'm a little annoyed, but then I got to thinking I could always use a little extra spending cash, right? I mean, who couldn't? So I had a great idea. Rent myself out for a hunger strike. It'll just be temporary, though, until I hit my weight goals. Sorry, can't save everybody. So anyway, if anyone knows a good cause that could use a short-term rental comrade for hire, hit me up. Selling out's an old phrase. We heard a lot of it in the 90s. Not so much anymore. I guess this is a little language corner. Back to the language corner, or to the language corner. It was thrown out a lot in regards to the alternative and grunge music scene, especially. I'm not sure what's going on, why I won't hear it anymore. But I want to let people know I've been jumping up and down, waving my arms around for a while now, trying to get somebody to see that I think I understand the concept, and I'm actively looking to sell out. Really, I'll take all offers at this moment. So, yeah, anybody out there, let them know. Hardened is usually, we're going to stay in the language corner. Hardened is usually only used with battle, when used in a phrase, battle hardened. You hear that in the press a lot. Or stories about, especially military folks. It popped in my head a few times when I've run into women that I haven't seen since high school or college. With many of them, I was thrown as they first spoke. A new, resonant, and much deeper voice had taken the place of a sweet, holly go lightly one. I can practically hear them yelling, "This is the last time I'm going to say this!" Like someone who's been in the classroom for years. Like someone who's been in the classroom for years. They've been child-hardened. That's it. Hope you liked it. That's the Patty Pod. I am going to try to get you guys another one. We're only in mid-January, so we got a few more weeks where I can try to get it. I'm trying to line up an interview with an artist. And I've got a long-time listener. You know who you are. You're part of the hardcore. He's going to get back to me. We're going to talk more about exploration. So some more about creativity, some more about exploration coming up. I'm doing well. I got to say, this has been a great experience with the substitute teaching. I've had a lot of time to do creative work, play hockey. I think I'm getting it. I can't do it for too long. I'm going to have to find a real job. Go back to that. I've heard trust fund people refer to real jobs. They call them RJs, at least some of the folks in northern Minnesota, the trust funders. They'll say, oh, so-and-so had to get an RJ, or so-and-so tried an RJ for a while. That's a real job. Oh, I would have been such a good trust funder. Man, I tell you, missed that boat. In any case, no, this is temporary. I'm going to get back to it. You get to see these different classes. I was with these kindergartners the other day. Challenging, but boy, were they hilarious. A little redhead kid pops out, especially. Bright red hair. Hipster Carhartt jacket. Black and white checked Vans shoes. Black and white checked sweater. Talking to me about AC/DC, singing TNT with me. TNT, it's dynamite. We were rocking out at recess. It was this great class. Anyway, it's been great. I think I maybe got a glimpse of what I'm going to do in retirement. I think I'll do this in retirement. It's kind of fun to see all these different kids and bounce around a little bit. So I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well. I hope you liked it. If you didn't think it was that great, remember, it's free, for God's sake. All right, that's it for this episode. Hope everyone's well. Peace and love.